States of America, Donald Trump, has recognized Biafra as a sovereign state by inviting Biafra for his inauguration ceremony in the United States of America. The Biafra government was invited and confirmed to attend Donald Trump's inauguration on January 20th, 2025. Meanwhile, the United States of Biafra government has officially notified Nordic countries like Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway and Sweden of the restoration of Biafra's May 30th, 1967 Declaration of Independence. Denmark, Finland, Iceland and Norway confirmed receiving the notification, while Sweden's acknowledgement is pending. The United States of Biafra was registered as a non-profit corporation in Georgia, United States of America, indicating legal recognition. Plans are underway to establish the United States of Biafra's headquarters in Washington, D.C. within weeks. However, allegations were made against the Nigerian military for conducting unprovoked attacks, killings and displacement in Biafra territories, especially in Anambra and Imo states. Calls were made to Amnesty International, the United Nations, the European Union and other international bodies to intervene in the alleged human rights abuses in Biafra land. Southeast governors were criticized for prioritizing political gains over protecting citizens from violence and military oppression. The Biafra leadership claims to have submitted detailed documentation of the atrocities to relevant international authorities. Let me take you on a journey through a story that has been unfolding for decades. It's a story of resilience, hope, and a people's undying determination to carve out a place for themselves in the world. It's the story of Biafra, a name that has sparked debates, inspired movements, and carried the weight of a history both heartbreaking and hopeful. Imagine a nation that once existed in the minds and hearts of its people, declared itself independent, but was met with resistance so fierce that the struggle nearly erased its existence. Yet like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Biafra's spirit refused to be extinguished. Today, I want to share with you how that spirit has brought Biafra to the brink of recognition, standing tall and proud on the international stage. And remarkably, how this tale intersects with the inauguration of Donald John Trump as the President of the United States. Now, let's begin by painting a picture of where it all started. The year was 1967. For most people around the world, it was just another year, a time of hope and turmoil, as the 60s often were. But for the people of eastern Nigeria, it was a moment of profound significance. On May 30th, 1967, the Republic of Biafra was born, or at least it was declared. This was not a decision made lightly. It came after years of tensions, ethnic strife, and the failure of reconciliation efforts between the Igbo people and the Nigerian government. For the Igbo, it was a chance to create a nation where they could live in peace, free from persecution and violence. But as history often teaches us, dreams of independence are rarely smooth sailing. The declaration of Biafra's independence led to a brutal civil war, one that lasted until 1970. During those 3 years, the world witnessed horrors that left an indelible mark on those who lived through them. Famine, war crimes, and the loss of millions of lives turned what began as a political struggle into a humanitarian crisis. And when the dust settled, the dream of an independent Biafra seemed shattered. Yet the story does not end there. Decades later, the people of Biafra still hold on to that dream. They have never given up, and today we see the fruits of their determination. Just imagine, after all these years, the name Biafra is no longer whispered only in hushed tones. It is being spoken aloud, recognized, and even celebrated on the global stage. Let me bring you into the present, where this story takes a fascinating turn. It was just a few weeks ago when news broke that the government of Biafra had taken a bold step. They sent official notifications to several Nordic countries, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway and Sweden, reaffirming their 1967 Declaration of Independence. Now this wasn't just a symbolic gesture. It was a carefully calculated move, one that signaled to the world that Biafra is ready to stand on its own once again. Can you imagine the courage it takes to make such a statement, especially after everything they've been through? And here's the remarkable part. 4 of those countries have acknowledged Biafra's notification. Sweden, known for its measured diplomacy, is expected to follow suit soon. This is no small victory. It's a moment that proves the world is starting to listen. And the story gets even more intriguing. Not content with just gaining recognition abroad, Biafra's leaders have been making strides in the United States. They've registered the United States of Biafra as a non-profit corporation in the state of Georgia. It may sound like a technicality, but it's a big deal. This move paves the way for Biafra to establish a legal presence in America, a critical step in their quest for international recognition. Plans are already underway to open their headquarters in Washington, D.C., and you can just feel the momentum building. But let me take a moment here to acknowledge the struggles that persist. Back home in the lands that Biafra calls its own, the situation is far from rosy. Reports have been coming in about unprovoked military aggression in areas like Anambra and Imo states. Families have been displaced, lives have been lost, and the shadow of violence looms large over communities that have already suffered so much. It's a grim reminder that the fight for independence isn't just about diplomacy and recognition. It's about ensuring safety and dignity for the people on the ground. The government of Biafra has been working tirelessly to document these atrocities and bring them to the attention of international organizations like Amnesty International, the United Nations, and the European Union. They're not just asking for recognition, they're demanding justice. And while the world's response has been mixed, the sheer determination of the Biafran people is a testament to their resilience. Now let's circle back to the United States and the upcoming inauguration of Donald John Trump. Yes, the same Donald John Trump who has a knack for making headlines and turning the world's attention toward unexpected places. On January 20th, 2025, as he takes the oath of office, the world will be watching. But here's the kicker. Among the invited guests is the government of the United States of Biafra. Think about what this means. For decades, Biafra has been fighting to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized. And now, they're not just being acknowledged, they're being invited to one of the most significant political events in the world. This isn't just a nod of approval, it's a statement. It's as if the Trump administration is saying, "We see you, we recognize you, and we welcome you." This moment isn't just about politics, it's about validation. For the people of Biafra, it's a reminder that their struggle has not been in vain. It's a moment that says, your identity matters, your sovereignty is real, and your dreams are valid. As we look ahead to that historic day, it's impossible not to feel a sense of awe at how far this journey has come. From the war-torn streets of the 1960s to the diplomatic halls of today, Biafra's story is one of incredible resilience. It's a story that reminds us all of the power of hope and the importance of standing up for what you believe in. And so, my dear friends, as we reflect on this remarkable tale, let us not forget the lessons it teaches us. Let us remember that the fight for justice is never easy, but it is always worth it. Let us honor the courage of those who dare to dream, even when the odds are stacked against them. And let us celebrate the moments, big and small, that remind us of the power of resilience and the beauty of hope. This is the story of Biafra. It's not just a story of a nation, it's a story of humanity's unyielding spirit. And as we continue to follow this journey, let us carry its lessons in our hearts, knowing that every step forward is a step toward a brighter, more just world. As we continue exploring the intricacies of this ongoing saga, it's important to remember the historical context that laid the foundation for the current Biafran movement. The 1967 Civil War, which began after the declaration of Biafra's independence, left deep scars on the people of Nigeria, especially the Igbos who were at the heart of Biafra's creation. The war, often referred to as the Nigerian Civil War, was not just a political battle. It was a war that ravaged families, communities, and generations of people. During the war, the world witnessed the horrors of a humanitarian crisis. As Biafra struggled to defend itself, one of the most painful consequences was the famine that struck the region. The images of starving children with emaciated bodies became iconic symbols of the war's brutality. The international community at the time was shocked by the scale of the devastation, but despite global awareness, help was slow to come, and the suffering continued for years. After the war ended, Biafra was officially reintegrated into Nigeria, but the wounds did not heal easily. For many of the Igbo people, it felt as though the dream of an independent Biafra had been snuffed out. Yet, as history often proves, even the most challenging chapters don't have the final word. In the decades following the war, the idea of Biafra continued to linger in the hearts of many, an idea that refused to be completely erased by political decisions or military might. In the 1990s and early 2000s, the concept of Biafran independence began to resurface with new energy. The Biafran struggle, once thought to be a closed chapter, was reignited by the younger generation who had not lived through the war, but had heard the stories, felt the pain, and witnessed the continued marginalization of the Igbo people. This new wave of activism was less about the violent uprising that marked the original Declaration of Independence, and more about peaceful advocacy, diplomatic recognition, and the pursuit of international awareness. Fast forward to the present day, and we see that Biafra's call for independence has evolved. It is no longer confined to the shores of Nigeria. The aspirations of Biafra have reached the far corners of the earth, resonating with diaspora communities in countries across Europe, North America, and even Asia. The Nigerian government, led by various administrations over the years, has faced growing pressure from Biafran separatists, those who believe in the legitimate right of the people of Biafra to govern themselves, free from the influence and control of the Nigerian government. But this movement is not just about nationalism, it's about self-determination, human rights, and the undeniable need for the Biafran people to have a voice in the global community. While the world may have moved on from the era of colonialism, the fight for self-determination is still a burning issue for many groups around the world, and Biafra is no exception. What has made this modern movement stand out is its strategic use of the global stage to bring attention to its cause. The media, social platforms, and international lobbying efforts have allowed the Biafran people to circumvent the traditional power structures that once kept them marginalized. Through these channels, they've been able to advocate for their cause, telling their story to the world in a way that no generation before them had the opportunity to do.
So today, I want to bring to the notice